Hey guys, Character here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the deluxe Frappeis Gochizo from Kamen Gavv. This is a special Gochizo used by Kamen Valen to obtain his first power-up form. So, let's get started. First off, we'll take a look at the Frappeis Gochizo on its own. So, this Gochizo is based on a chocolate frappe, making it the first Gochizo that's based on something you drink rather than something you eat. And I admit it is interesting to put this in the same kind of category as things like gummies and potato chips. So, starting from top, you can see you got the little swirl of chocolate and whipped cream up there. Got a little clear chocolate stick stuck in and a straw. Coming down here, you can see a little bit more of a swirl. Got a little band there. Reads Choco in the center. And down here we've got this little emblem based on Kamen Valen. You also see that it's made out of clear brown plastic with some glitter inlaid onto it. Although I admit, because of it kind of feels like it more resembles like cola rather than coffee. You also see that it appears to have 3 eyes, but in fact that's not quite right. Rather than being one 3-eyed Gochizo, instead this is a 2-in-1 Gochizo. Basically being a pair of brothers, one on the top with 1 eye, who's named Frappeis Ichiro, and the one on the bottom with 2 eyes, who's named Frappeis Jiro. And carrying around to the back, you can see it's not fully painted back here. You also see the bar compartment, and like with other electronic Gochizo, it has the battery set in, so you just pull the tab and it's ready to go. Now you look at the bottom, you can see it doesn't seem to have a reader, and that's because it does not. Now this is not initially meant for the Gavv belt. That being said, before we get into the transformation, this does have some features on its own. So as you can see, Frappeis Ichiro up here is free spinning, and so if you give a single spin to him, you'll get some sounds when not in a driver. So that's the introduction, and then I'll cycle through other sounds, as it not only has sounds from them, but also from Honto, aka Kamen Valen. And there we have Honto. And then it'll cycle back to the beginning. Next we'll get to the transformation, and as you could probably have guessed by the way the bomb was made, rather than being designed for the Gavv belt, this is instead made to be used with the Rasm gear. But there's also a bit of prep. So, to start, you need to spin the top part 3 times in a row. You get that sound. We'll start on top. You also get a voice line to spin it while it's on the belt. And there we have the transformation into Kamen Valen Frappeis Custom, his first power-up form. And I'm sure that some people might try to argue against this because he has another form called Chocold form, but that's not something I really consider a power-up form, considering that it is a very basic recoloring of his base form, and it's more like a dark side form rather than a proper power-up. So, after you've done transformation, there are more voice lines you can get from the Gochizo up top, and of course you get them by spinning Frappeis Ichiro. And yes, I do acknowledge that these Scotch are very noisy. So, there are 3 different special attacks you can do with the belt transformed. So, first 2 are done by lifting up and lowering down the lever. The first one is Frozen. The second is Freezing. And then for the third one, lift up the lever, spin the top 3 times, then lower it back down. And there we get the Frappeis VORTEX. So, after doing all that, then take off the Gochizo from the top. And you'll get some sounds from them afterwards. However, that's not all that this can do. There's a little secret to these 2 Gochizo, which is that they can be separated. Specifically, if you pull from here, you actually take Frappeis Ichiro out of the top. You can see he's on the inside as well as the clip attached onto. If you look back here, you can see the contacts like on a normal Gochizo. So the first thing we test out is with the Gavv Buster. And so it basically acts as if it's some kind of assist-type chocolate Gochizo. We can also test them with the Gavv belt. Though it just reads as Okashi or snack. And we get the Okashi finish. And finally, we'll see what sound we get when we use it with the Gavv phone. So it does read as Okashi, and he says, "Nice to meet you, let's fight together." And there we go. So overall, even though these 2 Gochizo don't have any form of transformation like the other Gochizo do, they usually make up for it by being very feature-rich. Not only do we get all those voice lines, but the way it's activated is pretty clever and it makes a lot of sense because the acting is basically like you're stirring up the Frappeis. And of course, we do have compatibility with the Rasm gear, so you get more value of that. And we get a good variety of sounds when attached to the belt, as well as multiple special attacks. Not to mention that they didn't forget about the other bit of compatibility, to where you can actually separate them and still use part of it to use with your Gochizo compatible devices. So, despite how it doesn't work in the same way as a normal Gochizo, it more than makes up for it. And if you're a fan of Kamen and Valen, and especially if you have a Rasm gear, I would definitely recommend it. In fact, I would only recommend this if you have a Rasm gear, but this might be incentive to pick one up, as you get the main bulk of the sounds by using it with this belt. So definitely recommended, just with the condition that you should get it with this belt. And on a last note, it is interesting the way this has been made to work, because it's a very similar case to Kamen Rider from Kamen Rider Build, where he became Kamen Rider Charge by using the secondary belt of series, the Slash Driver. And there definitely have been some comparisons I've seen online between the way that the systems were comparing Build to Gavv. And it's definitely kind of interesting to see that certainly come to fruition, and definitely be very proven with this. But, regardless of that, very much recommended. Now, of note is that after this review, I'm not going to be posting any reviews for a couple of weeks, as I will be on vacation, going to be away from home. So, not going to be able to really post any video reviews while I'm like that. However, when I come back, I'll be getting back to reviews, and hopefully my next review should be the Deluxe Bake Magnum. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is Kero50, riding off.